Hi, my name is Ava Wizmann, and this is
Lili Bossi.
And this is my show, Beverly's American Dream. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, reflecting on your high school years at Beverly, how would you describe your character compared to your character now?
Well, I have to say, first of all, thank you for having me on the show, and thank you for this incredible idea of the American Dream. I love it. Beverly High really helped shape me. Mm-hmm. It made me who I am today. I was always very, very social. Mm-hmm. And I always loved connecting with people. Right. So I think, I had friends in every arena, and I loved meeting friends in front of the library, which is really funny because clearly I'm very, very, very excited about the library and KBEV. But I would say that my personality hasn't changed that much because I always was a very curious person. I always loved connecting with people. I would say the difference is throughout the years, I just have become much more comfortable within my own skin. I think part of being in high school and growing up, there's still an element of wondering, where do you fit in? Is it okay to really be who you are? And I feel that as I got older, I really became a personality that is very much okay with all parts of me. So that's where I see a difference. But my sense of loving people and loving connection and community, whether it was at Beverly High or now, that has stayed the same.
Very nice. So you seem pretty much much the same, like how you were in high school. So now I'm going to ask about your parents. So your parents immigrated here, right?
Yes.
So what year did they immigrate from?
They actually came when it was quite a long time ago. It was over 50 years ago.
Wow.
Well over 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. And they immigrated from, originally they were in Poland. Mm-hmm. They were Holocaust survivors.
Wow.
And they met in Israel,
mm-hmm. and
moved to Israel, to New York initially, mm-hmm. and then moved to Beverly Hills for the American Dream.
Right.
And they chose Beverly Hills because it was world famous. And I'm an only child of Holocaust survivors, and they wanted the best for me. And they had heard, they didn't have any family or any friends here, but Beverly Hills was well renowned for the schools, for the police, for the fire, for a very welcoming Jewish community. And they felt that if they could provide the American Dream future in Beverly Hills for me, they wanted to move here. And we literally drove from New York City to Beverly Hills, mm-hmm. and lived in an apartment on South Rexford Drive for the first few years of my life. And then ultimately they bought a home on South Maple Drive, which is where I grew up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So how do you think that's affected your values now because you have that experience from your parents?
I think it absolutely, just like I said, Beverly High shaped me. Mm-hmm. I absolutely believe that being a child of immigrants, being a child of Holocaust survivors, shaped every fiber of my being. When I ran for office, I told everybody that I was a child of Holocaust survivors and immigrants. I think it taught me the element of the value of community, the value of giving back, the value of integrity and a moral compass, and a sense of gratitude. Mm-hmm. My parents every single day felt so grateful.
Right.
They felt grateful to be in the United States, where they could practice their religion freely, where they could be who they were in a safe environment. And I think every single day of my life, I learned from them to never take that for granted, to never take for granted what they went through, where they couldn't be Jewish or they couldn't practice anything that was true to them, and come to the United States and come to Beverly Hills and the land of opportunity. And I know that it absolutely shaped me in terms of gratitude and wanting to give back.
Of course, yeah, and that's exactly what I'm trying to give the message to people, is that every day should be worth living, and it's all about gratitude, because not every day is promised, like I said. Right. And for the next question, I'm going to ask, so now we have a recent surge in anti-Semitism. So how has that affected you at being like Jewish, you know, as me too, but, you know?
It affects every fiber of my being. You know, my mom is an Auschwitz survivor, told me every day of my life to never, ever, ever give up.
Right.
And to never forget, and to never stop telling her story. And you know, when I ran for office, I told everybody I was a child of Holocaust survivors, and people would say to me, why are you mentioning that? What does that have to do with anything? Talk about your credentials. And I said, it has everything to do with everything, because
Right.
it shaped me.
Of course.
And so when I would see the rise in anti-Semitism, because I knew that it would start with speech, it would start with things that were against Jews, hate of any kind can lead to violence. And I lost my whole family. You know, everybody was exterminated in from World War II in the camps. So I feel this visceral reaction that I have to speak up, that I have to use my voice. And the more that there is this hate towards us, and whether it's anti-Semitism or any hate, it literally makes me feel like I have to speak louder. I will not cower.
Right.
And I will fight for those who no longer have a voice anymore. I feel that during World War II, there were so many people that didn't speak up. And there's ancestors that I never met, and I feel that I have to speak for them as well. So it's literally every ounce of my being. And since October 7th, you know, my birthday is October 6th.
Wow.
And October 7th happened, and it totally has changed me forever. I have not opened a birthday gift that was given to me after October 7th, because I still feel the tremendous amount of heaviness and weight of all the people that are still hostages, all the people that died during October 7th. So the element of anti-Semitism definitely weighs on me, but it makes me stronger. It makes me want to talk louder. And as my mom said, I will never give up, and I will never, ever stop, ever.
Wow, that's incredibly powerful.
Thank you.
And for our next question, I'm going to ask, how has, in these challenging times, how have you learned to like cope with this like hatred for Jews?
You know, I think for me, because I saw my mom who survived the horrors, you know, the Holocaust, and saw her family and her friends cremated, burned, shot, and still had a positive view about life, and lived and wanted to create a future. She always told me, when you look up in the clouds and you see clouds, know that there's sun behind the clouds. Always remember that even when it's dark out, there's light beyond that. So for me, what gets me through this really dark time that we're living through is, first, I look for those who carry light, like yourself, who are bringing light right now.
Thank you.
So I try to focus on the people that I know are light and are doing good. And then I myself try to bring that light to every space that I'm in.
Right.
And I really believe that if we are that light, that we will drown out that darkness that we're feeling. We're the hope. You're the hope, the next generation that's going to say, darkness, we're light, we're going to overcome that. So I have faith in the humanity and the light in people like yourselves who will carry that through, and I believe that the sun overshadows the darkness in the clouds. So that's what gives me hope during this really, really hard and challenging and dark time.
Right.
It's people like you.
Thank you, thank you. And speaking of this like horrific topic, I was wondering if you could speak on the situation happening in the Middle East right now.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's devastating. It's, you know, in my lifetime, I never thought that never again is now.
Right.
October 6th, we were going about our life, and then October 7th, we are forever changed. So for me, it's a really hard time in our world right now because we are seeing so much hate and so many people that are turning against Jews, that are turning against Israel. And it is our duty to stand up and stand strong and stand united. And I feel that we will persevere, we're resilient. And as hard and as heartbreaking and as heavy as it feels, I do believe that Am Yisrael Chai. I do believe that we will overcome this.
Yeah, I love that. And I know that you've done a lot for us as a mayor in office, and I know you've been doing this for a very long time. So I'm going to ask you if you could talk about like your biggest accomplishments while you were in office.
You know, I think for me, obviously, there were different initiatives that I had done and such. On a personal level, I think what I'm the most proud of is the sense of community, especially now where people feel so divided. It was always a goal of mine for people to feel connected, to feel that we were an extended family. And especially because I was an only child, I always wanted to create that sense of a family, that people felt that even though we're world famous, we're Beverly Hills, we're a small town that genuinely cares about one another. So I would say on that level, I'm really, really proud that we as a community during my terms as mayor felt a sense of family, a sense of connectedness. My last term, I'm very proud of the Real-Time Watch Center that I helped spearhead, which is our cameras in our city are watched 24 hours, and a sense of safety that I feel that people need to feel in our city. They need to feel that they are safe, that they can walk through our city, practice their religion, and whatever it is that they feel, like the American dream, come here and feel safe and feel warm and connected. So I'm proud of the Real-Time Watch Center and the sense of community that I feel was built during the terms as mayor.
Right, as you should be. And so what would you suggest for individuals, like citizens of Beverly Hills, that want to, they want ways to contribute to, they want to contribute to making Beverly Hills better? What advice would you give them?
Well, it depends on what age. I mean, certainly here, what you're doing now, certainly if you're in the high school or middle school, to really get involved in your schools. We have a very strong connection between our city and our schools. You know, we have a teen advisory committee where really we look as elected officials, we look to you because you are the generation of our future. And we as a city want to hear from you. So this is not where we want to create the future, you are the future. So I really feel that we have worked really hard together. Our school district, along with our city, has really worked hard to create events, to be very welcoming, to really listen to what you say you want our city to look like. So to be involved, whenever our city has an event, to come, to bring events to us. When I was mayor, it was the Teen Advisory Committee that worked with me on my mental wellness initiative and said that they wanted to bring the founders of Mad Happy to come and speak about mental wellness. So for me, it's about getting involved and knowing that we really want to shape the community as you see it. Right. Because you are exactly the future. And I really feel that to get involved in anything that you see in our city, whether it's intern in our city, whether it's be involved in your schools, and contact people that you see at the city and throw out your ideas, because I feel very strongly that we want to implement them.
Right. And I think this is great advice for anyone who definitely wants to reach out and find ways to connect with the city of Beverly Hills. So with our final question, I'm going to ask you, with over 13 years of dedicated service on the Beverly Hills City Council, what's next for you?
Well, it's interesting. My life path has been such that I have always been open to possibilities. I didn't plan my route.
Right.
Opportunities came in front of me and I decided to take it. My personality is I start with yes and then figure out how. So my passion clearly is our community.
Right.
My passion clearly is to fight against injustice, to fight against anti-Semitism, to fight against hate of any kind. And I'm somebody that's a doer. I mean, when I've been in office, I literally, 24 hours a day, I will give everybody my cell phone number and I will answer it and do whatever I can. So for me, I don't really have a plan, but what I do feel very confident about is like the American dream. I believe that I'm open to what will come to me, and I know if it feels right or if it doesn't feel right to me. So I will still be very involved in our community.
Of course.
Just because I'm not an elected official doesn't mean that I won't be involved. I'll be extraordinarily involved because this community, the schools, made me everything that I am today.
Right.
And I believe that those opportunities will find me, and when it feels right, I'll say yes and then figure out how.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on my show today. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for everything. I mean, this is very inspiring, and
you are inspiring. And this is, I have been waiting all day long to be here today. So I am honored and just thank you for doing this, because you show this is the American dream and all things are possible.
Right. Thank you so much. Okay, this is Beverly's American Dream.